Hi guys, my name is Laith Wallace and I'm a product design manager at Dplay, which is one of the key products that is being pushed by Discovery at the moment. Discovery Channel, for those that may know it traditionally in that way. So we're doing a lot of innovation around helping them to transition from being a kind of traditional OTT, which is like, your television-based service, into the more digital landscape. The best way to help everyone understand this compared to a Netflix type of service is what they're trying to build at the moment. So I'm working on design systems, which is designers, product designers, UX designers, and researchers at the moment. And we're scaling up very quickly as the business is really happy and excited around what we're doing. And financially, it's been very good for them. So it's all positive going forward. You know what I mean? So I really want to hit with the first question, like, what does the future hold for live events? Well, I think it was a year ago that I went to see Common live in Shepherd's Bush. And Common's one of my favorite hip hop artists, but it was in seeing Common live and reflecting back on this question that made me think, wow, the reason why I went was a friend of mine didn't really have anyone to go with, but he had a spare ticket. And as a result of being with that friend, I was like, come on, man, why did you never think to invite me? So he invited me, we went. And I'll be honest, it was one of the best live performances because as Common's, for those of you that know the artist Common, his catalog spans easily across 20 plus, about 22, 20 to 25 years, maybe more. And as a result, he's told the story of his whole catalog by telling his life story. So as he began to tell his life story, he would perform songs that would communicate a different aspect of his life and where he was at different aspects of his life and how his music transitioned. And which also reflected his life. So where I think the future holds for live events is that, especially because we're going to move online, I think the artists that can become very good storytellers can really draw and build a really great audience, number one. But I also feel that creating more immersive experiences, I know some of us touched on it earlier, like with augmented reality, touching on things maybe with virtual reality as well. And even things like, how do we make a space become something that physically transitions, where it could be an empty space, but using lighting, using projectors, or using our mobile phones to create different types of augmented realities while we're listening and interacting with music is where I think music can go. And I also believe that a lot of smaller venues, smaller, live performances will be the way that, things will transition going forward. And I feel like the intimacy around the artists is the next phase. Because when you look at, and I don't hate to get too economical, but if you look at how industry has changed over the years from being agricultural, where everything was all around like us being able to feed and farm, being industrial age, then we moved into the technological age, then the information age with the boom and rise of the internet. And as information is everywhere and all over the place, I think the next phase for us as humanity, as people, is moving into this age of partnerships where we're all coming together more than we ever have before to create new ideas and new experiences. Like, look at this, UX and music coming together to put together an event that, I'll be honest, I've never seen anybody else do this before. Even if it is done, I haven't seen it. So yeah, big up Suj for this, because this is like quite revolutionary when you think about it. And coming out of COVID, this could scale very, very easily, translate into new languages and new territories. But the key thing I want to emphasize is the fact that two individuals, two different communities are partnering up to create smaller, intimate communities around some key topics that they love. And a partnership, man, communities together can build very, very strong networks and so on and so forth. The next thing I wanted to touch on was like, where do I feel the future of music will be affected in regards to changes in UX. And recently I worked with a company called Drop TV, and what Drop TV do, they do what is called shoppable commerce. It's about where culture meets commerce. And what they basically focus on is helping brands connect with the artists and bypassing big actual like record labels. And as I worked with the Drop TV team, the goal was, how do we allow the artist's music video and the partnerships in the brand with brands to monetize much quicker without having to give percentages to record labels? So the idea was that they created a platform, and on that platform, artists could monetize some of the clothing that they're wearing, and their actual, fans could watch a video click on a button and buy that pair of trainers or buy that top or buy that necklace, buy those sunglasses that their favorite artist might wear. So what that allowed for the artist is the artist could create a stream of income, an additional stream of income, even though they're creating a music video that is to help them create streams of income through live events and so on and so forth. And I feel like the big record labels, as many of you know, is becoming like few and far between. They're very good for distribution purposes if you partner with them really well. But for the artists that can run a business and can keep quite independent, there's going to become more innovation around how e-commerce can fit in and how UX can help to provide better platforms for that as well. So I really want to touch on next is about like the future of music and technology, and why I feel like one of the key things I'm beginning to see a lot more is some years ago, I worked with a company called Amper, A-M-P-E-R. And what Amper do is they basically allow video creators to compose original music using artificial intelligence. So what that simply means is that, let's say as an artist, you're working with your editor, your video editor, or you're trying to create a video outside of just using your core music. Basically an editor could then go and create original music without having to license that music, without having to download it from somebody else. They could create it just on their own without even needing a music producer. So what we're seeing is that new sounds are being created. New people who didn't have skills in music production can now enter into this space and start to create new forms of sounds. Now, where we learn this from is, if anybody knows about the MPC changed the game for music, because it also, the technology helped to push music forward, but the sounds that was created off of the back of the MPC created some of the most iconic music. If you know the album 808 and Heartbreak by Kanye West, that album is about 80% done on the MPC. So I think going forward, you're going to have more and more albums being created through artificial intelligence. And those that know how to leverage that technology will be actually some of the most valuable people going forward. So I just wanted to close off with this quote by a broadcaster and writer, and is also a solo artist. And he basically said, like, we tend to think of technological advantages as destroying what's gone before, but that doesn't usually happen. And what he says is that this could lead to a different way of making music going forward. And I feel like as we emerge out of COVID, out of lockdown, hopefully, reevaluating what's important in our life, family, relationships, vitality, those are the kind of things I'm talking about. I believe also in regards to our professional lives, it will allow us to now think, how can I do what I did before, but in a whole new, different way? And I just wanted to leave you with that this afternoon.
So we are French. We are the band Billet d'Humeur. And so in this band, you have Alan, Brice. They are twins brother. You have GB, the DJ. And you have me, Davey, chorus. And what we're going to play for you, it's Hollywood, a song called Hollywood, and it's one of the songs of our album too, called the same, Hollywood. And yes, it's a kind of Eldorado, yes. And we just let you enjoy now, yes. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Let's play. Ready,
Yes.
guys?
Nos humeurs et nos manières d'agir n'ont jamais plus, je ne vous laisserai dire. Nos couleurs et nos façons de nous tenir n'ont jamais plus, je ne vous laisserai dire. Vos idées, vos traînées, tous vos torts n'entacheront plus jamais le beau décor de notre Hollywood. meilleur et surtout pour le pire. Non, jamais plus je ne vous laisserai dire. Vos attaques concernant notre avenir. Non, jamais plus je ne vous laisserai dire. Par vos mensonges, n'y croyez plus à tort. Mais désormais, sachez, j'en rêve encore. Encore de notre vie. This song is Hollywood, and we talk about dreams. Not this Hollywood, but a kind of
Eldorado. You don't have to stop your dreams. You have to go into your dreams. You have to believe, always believe. And that's the song talking about, in fact. And now, I want everybody clap your hands, please. On the screen. All right. Yes.
we need more power.
Okay. Hey.
We need more power.
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 We need more power. Make some noise.
What you said, you just in order to bounce a little bit on what you said before, you speak about the technology, how the technology is very important. You speak about MPC. You see, we have only machine. There is no instrument. Without technology, we are nothing. In fact, we are very nothing. So the technology in the music is very, very important for design too. With the social media, it's very, very important. And what you say, Jay, too, it's the future. In fact, it's so interesting. What you say, Jay, really, really interesting.